Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. Minasan, konbanwa, Yojong Shadow, and today I'm going to show some tarantula molts and feed some Harpactira pulchripes females. And I do want to discuss about some things, but before that, allow us to start by me showing you guys the Aphonopelma chalcodes. This right here is the desert blonde tarantula, and these two specimens that I'm going to show today are about 5 years old. They were hatched out in 2019, and as of now, they're about almost 2 inches. Yeah, almost 5 centimeters. And honestly, that is to be expected because this species grows relatively slow, like most Aphonopelmas. So we're going to be quite old by the time these specimens are adults. So to actually see a molt is a blessing because seeing these species molts is like once in a blue moon because of how slow they grow. So that is why I'm showing everyone my Aphonopelma chalcodes today, because I'm super happy to see molts again. Because I have 14 specimens and they're all relatively still under 2 inches even after 5 years. So the real question is, how big will they be in a decade? So let us see how big they'll get in 10 years, but I don't really see them reaching adulthood anytime soon. Now, we'll actually have to rehouse these specimens that you're seeing today, because obviously they're too big for these enclosures here. So yeah, rehouse pretty soon for these guys, and let us wait and see for the others. So there are actually more molts I'm going to show in this video, but I do want to discuss some questions that I've gotten and also address some things about what's currently going on in my collection and things of that nature. So I do want to start by answering a question that I've gotten recently, and this is a question I've basically answered in the past, but you may be a new viewer. So that question is, how long does it take for a female to lay an egg sac after being paired? And the honest answer is that it depends. And let me clarify. Tarantulas don't really have a set time period between when they're paired and when an egg sac is laid. There's really no way of knowing how long it'll take. Some females may develop their eggs early, others may take longer or slower. So it could take a few months, it could take over a year, but you gotta be patient. There's no need to rush, and that's really all I could say. I know that for some reason, some online sources say it'll take 8 months for this species to have an egg sac, but that is not true. Sometimes it could be shorter or longer. It really just depends on how long it takes for the female to develop her eggs and when she's ready to actually lay them. So the only thing you can do is to treat your females nicely, condition them right, and wait until the day comes when she lays an egg sac. But before I move on to the next topic, talking about my collection, I do want to talk about this tarantula here, the mystery tarantula. I still don't know what it is, so if anybody has some input, by all means feel free to do so. So this tarantula is still a pet-only tarantula. I will never breed to this female. Some people are saying Cyrocosmus, others are saying Bonita, and things of that nature, and honestly, it could be anything. But this is a pet-only tarantula that I'm enjoying in my collection. She is extremely beautiful, but I still don't know what she is. So I do want to talk about the current state of my tarantula collection and starting my tarantula business and things of that nature. So let us begin with that. So my collection is actually very small right now because I really want to diversify my experience other than just tarantulas. And while I am breeding tarantulas here and there, I also do want to make space for getting into other things. So that way I don't really get stuck in a niche. So while tarantulas will always be my foundation when it comes to exotic pets, and things of that nature, I still do want to expand my portfolio other than just tarantulas. And in a past video, I said a few months ago actually, I did state about recommendations about other exotic pet hobbies I could explore, and someone recommended bearded dragons, and honestly, the bearded dragon market is not for me, and I do have my reasoning why. One is that their genetics are not really the best when it comes to getting inbred. Secondly, bearded dragons can be a bit difficult to breed in terms of what I've seen and also by asking around. So I think bearded dragons is going to be a pass for me. Now someone else also recommended ball pythons. And to me, I honestly see ball pythons as a breeder's buyer's market. Basically saying that the people who are buying ball pythons are not necessarily just your typical hobbyists, but rather other ball python breeders. I'm not saying that there aren't any regular, ball python hobbyists out there, but it seems that for the most part, when it comes to selling and buying ball pythons, a lot of them are usually just other ball python breeders. And I don't really want to go into that market because then you gotta play big to win big, or take ages to get there to where you want to be. So I really want to avoid ball pythons for now, but I do appreciate the recommendation. But tying everything back together though, I'm trying to look into other avenues other than just tarantulas, and one direction I am going towards without a doubt is frogs, because I'm a big frog enthusiast, but honestly, I do want to keep a few just as pets for a long while before I start getting into breeding, because I feel like if I just start breeding frogs, it's gonna be disastrous, just to put it simply. And I know there's information out there on how to breed frogs, but I don't want to get into that just yet, because I personally believe that everything is built on a foundation. No matter how tall you build your tower or your building, if the foundation is weak, everything you build on top of it will crumble. So as of now, I really want to take my time to figure out how to care for frogs and how to get it more suitable to where I can get things going, and then I'll get into breeding frogs. But that could take a couple of years, it could take longer. I don't want to rush it. So I am going to take my time to slowly get there, and then, diversify myself, and then eventually start my business. And I know people just want me to start right now so they can support me, but in the past, I've actually wholesaled and worked with other vendors and businesses, and the ones that don't last are usually the ones that get stuck in the niche of just tarantulas. So learning from them, I would actually like to diversify myself first, so that way I can be a bit more comfortable, and I don't know exactly how long it'll take, but I just don't want to, rush things. I want to do it right. So please be patient, and until then, I'm going to be sticking to being a private tarantula breeder until that day comes. So I'm sorry if I disappointed you, but I just don't want to just do things. I want to do it right, and also take my time. Basically, just keeping it lax and low until I get there. But that's funny, that's my style. Laxow, my style. Lax and low. But don't worry everybody, I'm still breeding tarantulas, so I'm not quitting. Don't think that. I'm still going to be a tarantula breeder. Always will be. So basically, my collection is small. I'll admit it, it's very small right now. But I am breeding tarantulas, so slings are going to take up space. And also, I do want to make some space for some frogs, so that way I can kind of experiment and see how good I can keep them, which honestly isn't too hard because I do love frogs. And I'm currently trying to get into more of those terrestrial frogs, such as the horned frogs, your Pac-Man frogs, your Suriname frogs, and things of that nature. And then I would like to diversify from there. But the reason why I really want to start with the horned frogs, such as the Pac-Man frogs, is because those guys are easy to keep and I really enjoy them. So that's where I want to start. And then I'll slowly try to branch and see what I'll go from there. I have to say though, I really would like if somebody could teach me how to breed frogs. Because while there is online information out there, I am not a big fan of just reading information online. I prefer somebody in person teaching me or telling me what to do and where to go, because that way it's more genuine and also is more hands-on experience with somebody to help me, guide me little by little. That's how I was taught when it came to tarantulas, and I really would like that same approach when it comes to frogs. But the problem is that Pac-Man frog breeders and frog breeders are very, very private, just like us private tarantula breeders. So finding them is actually a needle in a haystack, so I'm still looking for them. But as of now, they don't exist. Like, I can't find any of them. But I'm still looking, and I guess I'll call this a video for today. So, as the typical, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I upload every single Tuesday and Friday here on the channel, and also support my social medias such as my IG and Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon members such as Kale, and I should get a video up either today or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that for Patreon exclusive members. And with that, stay lax and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.